When the faithful pray as one, then will the races all be one. This
Once in a while, I have an identifiable download. They don't happen often, but when they do, they are good. Though we are all going through this at a different pace, things ramped up collectively a couple of weeks back. Though we cannot see it, many things have been put into place to dismantle the power and technology that has kept us prisoner for so long. This goes much deeper than an algorithm on YouTube. The intensity of the electromagnetic shift during the first part of this event was based on allowing all of us who needed to shift and needed to be ready for what is coming, what is almost here. We have had a ton of assistance, and we have also done a ton of work. So great job, keep integrating. It should be getting pretty easy. It should be getting easier as the days go on. Each day gets a little bit better and better, so hang on. And remember, if you feel like you're gonna lose it, you just don't feel good and you can't stand it anymore, you have a major migraine, whatever it might be, go outside and try to put your feet on the ground. Pace around if you need to. Just try to get centered again. Duality is coming to an end. Balance is being restored. There is so much confusion surrounding events because there are so many changes with dimension and time. So many things are happening at once. The body is shifting, the earth is being restored, evil is losing power, people are waking up. Our power cannot be used against us anymore. While balance is being restored, we are all protected. And of course, it's not always going to be smooth. So while events take place, just stay in the moment, stay grounded, figure out what is really important going forward, and share with us. Nobody knows exactly what the future is going to bring or look like, and I strongly believe that we have a large hand in creating all of that. Even the Mayans noted that they did not know what this time would look like. Let's not forget, it is in the Hopi prophecy as well, when it talks about men being half in and half out of realities. I think we can all relate to that. I found an anonymous book called Divine Decree and Free Will. It is an interpretation of Revelations, and I thought some of it was very interesting, so I wanted to share it with you. As we know, much of prophecy in Scripture has multiple layers of meaning. I ended up on page 144 for some reason, and starts off here by saying, the satanic system that this star chiefly refers to, they drew their prophecies from the most absurd occurrences, such as spilling salt upon a table, wine upon one's clothes, stumbling or sneezing, and reigned and ruled by such absurdities. Hence, may have arisen later the designation in this book of Revelation. These two prophets tormented them that dwelt on earth. There fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. A star was the known emblem of a prince or a chief ruler. This great star means a great false teacher or ruler, in contradiction to the angels of the churches. As St. John writes, "Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world." This star was a false prophet. The anonymous author goes on to say, the mythological religion of Rome was greater than that of Greece, because it was a combination of almost all false religions. This is the part that I find the most interesting. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. The author goes on to describe the corruptness of the churches. I'm just going to read, because what follows is what I know deep inside to be true. Were not such admixtures wormwood in the river of life? It was to these our Savior so often referred, "Why do ye transgress the commandment of God by your traditions? Ye make the commandment of God none effect by your tradition. In vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men." A lamp was the emblem of divine light and illumination, and this is what the false pretender or pagan system laid claim to rule by the gods and to be divine. And it fell upon the earth, part of the rivers, and upon the fountain of waters. These rivers and fountains of water do represent the hierarchy of one true God. The temple was then a ruin, and the molten sea of it obsolete. Hosea wrote of this third person, "The children of Israel shall abide by many days without a king, without visible, divinely constituted government, and without a prince, without a sacrifice, and without an image." And then it was the sacred Jordan superseded the molten sea as type, even as early as the dynasty of the prophets. Naaman was sent to wash in the Jordan. And if my reader will turn to a few passages, he will see the true meaning of these rivers and fountains of waters. The great star of pagan Rome, or pagan idolatry, did fall into the rivers and fountains of water of God's grace, into the pail of his own people. His teaching was the doctrine of Balaam and of Jezebel, the charge laid against the third and fourth churches. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. Wormwood is a very bitter plant and a deadly poison. Its poisonous, hurtful nature is often spoken of in Scripture to signify bitter judgments. I will feed them with wormwood and then make them drink the water of gall. Deuteronomy. But here in the name of this corrupt religion is contrast and opposition to the name. The tree of life, the true vine, the plant of renown, and the angel of the waters, who from himself, the Word, and by his church feeds the multitude with milk, wine, honey, and gives living waters to all who thirst for them. With pure doctrine, on either side of the river is the tree of life, and the leaves of the tree are for healing the nation. Corrupt doctrine is what signified this name Wormwood. A system of ethics like those of the philosophers of Greece and Rome without gospel doctrine is poison to the soul. So when it says, as many men died of the waters because they were bitter, that is, they died spiritually from corrupt doctrine. And we know that's about to happen. Well, spiritually die if nothing else, right? I mean, that is what is going on right now. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars, so as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. And I beheld, I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, 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 to the inhabitants of the earth, by reason of their other voices, of the trumpet of the three angels which are yet to sound. The page of history under this seal is from the birth of Christ to the end of the first period of 666 years of this Christian dispensation. The fourth angel was the true hidden church of Christ for that period. The third part of the sun was smitten, means the visible constitution, or the hidden church of Christ of that period. The third part of the sun was smitten means the visible constitution or ruling power was smitten. As we look back at the smitings of the hierarchy of God for that period, do we not understand this language? For in this period, Christ, the Son of Righteousness, was smitten for the sins of others. I will smite the shepherd and the persecution of the early Christian church and all by Rome, the destroyer seen under the fourth seal. Every religion sect was tolerated at Rome except for Jews and Christianity. Needless to say, there's a lot of amazing stuff, so check that out and let's just keep searching, growing, learning, and taking it moment by moment. The time to reinterpret all of the lies is now.